Well, hello again. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tonight. You know, there's a part of me that would kind of be curious to see how the two Ravanas run, right? Um, it's because of all the phase shifting and stuff. Uh, it's interesting what happens when you see these go. At least you know if you look around with them at all. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this is it's a minor thing, it's a trivial thing, but you know, I'm always interested in the mechanics. So do my normal thing, which is to set up the stagger fire. A little slow. Let's reset this one. Sometimes I don't get it quite right. You'll see that in some of my matches. I get all screwed up because of it. Because I'm like, what the heck happened? There we go. There we go. That's better. So the thing about it is, this is just the minor thing that I noticed. So you get your ring of death going, and if I'm watching the firing on the side, it freezes during that time. Now it'll pick back up because I'm holding the button down, but look, it throws off all of my staggering. Now, mind you, because it sits there like in a holding pattern, this is why I'm kind of curious how it actually plays out. That if you go and you run into something, right? Because it's just been sitting there in that holding pattern, you know. See, now they're all locked together. Look, they're all in sync now. That's funny. And it's just because I haven't let up on the thing at all, right? So now if I do like this, of course they're all waiting, so now they're all doing it. So it's interesting how they just all end up back in sync from doing that. And that's the same thing I was messing around with this one right here, right? Is, you know, the idea of this continuous fire. And in a way I kind of like it for highly mobile bots because you're not worrying about trying to time your firing, you're just running around shooting all the time. This fits well into my slacker thing, you know. It's interesting, I complain about the slackers in the game, but then I myself enjoy a good bit of slack. But see, now this one will do the same thing. It'll come back eventually, you know, just doing your normal moving around, because everything gets locked down in between. It'll eventually fall back into sync, because what will happen is sooner or later you'll do that. Not too bad. I still haven't dropped this one yet in an actual fight. It's my long range test, 600. I don't know, it's probably pretty gimped. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to try it out. So I'm like, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. But, so I haven't done anything with it. And I still haven't tried this guy yet. I don't know. I get, you know, I've been killed by these, but I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like a bit passive for me, right? Throw it out there and wait. Throw it out there and wait. I don't know. We'll see if I, you know, the only way for me to really get good with something like that is I have to force myself to use it. You know, I essentially, this is how I've done it in the past, right? Because there's certain bots I didn't really want. Like I didn't want the Leo and I didn't want the Nuo. But to get to the point where I was able to deal with them, I basically forced myself to make them my first drops. And then, you know, once I dropped it every time, often enough, you know, I lasted longer and longer. And the one thing I am considering is swapping out the weapons on this. I haven't decided on the drone to go with, but what I'm thinking of is I think I might level these things up right here to MK212, just give them a minor bump, and run them on the Pathfinder and see if that works. And it falls into that category again for me because I tend to I get a little aggressive sometimes, and I'm always telling myself I have to slow down so that, you know, I can do a little bit better, get a longer streak or whatever, but I get impatient. So oh, what do we got here? A squad. Well, you know what? I haven't done anything yet tonight. Let's see where that goes. Uh-oh. You know, the thing I hate about it when I do that is then I'm not on the page I want to be on to start, you know, initial drop. I always have to switch after that. Anyways, what I was saying about the Pathfinder is, you know, for me, I don't last overly long in those, right? Prior to them nerfing the ice noodles, I did very well with the ice noodles and the specific drone for that, because, you know, you could get the freezing effect on something and you could get the 95 defense, you know, plus you get the one for when you drop below 30%, you had 40 defensive points and so on. And I could pseudo brawl if somebody got on me. But the way they're set up right now, I can't really pseudo brawl with them. And I'm not a fan. What is this, Beacon Rush? Okay. So I don't use them as much as I did in the past, but I'm thinking to myself, well, what if I stuck, you know, the ultimate Storm Zone one, right? Would that get me the ability to do enough damage at range, you know, get things all marked up, and be able to defend myself if somebody decides to come back and, you know, give me a good what for? Because people are really starting to like to give me a good what for. And I get it, because I have a tendency to give people a good what for all the time too. Or at least I sure try to. Alright, what do we got going over here? Mender. Hi, Mender. Uh-oh. There's a bad one. We don't like the bad ones. This health didn't really seem to move, did it? Alright, what do we got going here? I do okay with this. I wish I did better. But I don't drop it probably as much as I what am I like? See, this is where I get confused. What line me down? Where? A little fat in here. A little sticky to move around. Let's get out a little bit more. I can do about that. Little help! Little help! Oh, what do we got going here? Well, this kind of looks like a clusterfuck. Alright, taking home back. Alright. Uh-huh. I'm a little leery about doing this because I get off on my own and then I get my butt kicked because everybody gangs up on me. But sometimes it works out. Sometimes it pays off. So I keep doing it. Oh, look at this guy. Mr. Sneaky. Wow, that's pretty amazing. That's one durable bot. Okay. That's good. Those things are a pain. Alright, let's apply a little pressure from this side. Uh-oh, we're losing beacons again. That's why we're going to come and try to apply a little pressure over here. Oh, hey! My guys are thinking the exact same thing. Alright. Happening to my team? It's interesting. They couldn't lock him down with ultimate shredders. Don't know why I couldn't lock him down though. Junk. Don't know why everybody went down so quick. I never like it when I'm last man standing because I'm usually fairly aggressive, and you know, if it's a tough battle, and it's been in a couple of my other ones, you know, I'll mech out because I'll keep pushing. Now I won't mech out like, you know, super early, but I will mech out within the last minute or two. And so if I'm the last man standing, that's never good. It means people were pushing too hard and burning through their butts, as opposed to pacing themselves a little bit. You know, it's a fine mix. I am less than perfect at it too. There are plenty of players better than me. Let's see what we got going here. Oh, that sucks. Stupid, because the guy went down, my targeting went down with him. I got a little messed up on where I was and who I was on. I don't want to get caught there. Oh look, big pile there, huh? Interesting. Alright. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be squatting for long, because my team's taking this kind of a beating. I'm going to go back to solo. I don't know, I can't tell. Do my guys have their Titans out yet? I cannot see. Doesn't look like it, right? So I'm a little hesitant to drop mine out. But well, thank goodness I got that guy. He looked like he was going to be a real pain in the ass. Alright. Oh! How are those things going through shields? That's what I kind of want to know. Because they seem to be going through shields. And I didn't think that they used to go through shields. Well, seems like we are outclassed. I'll do the 3 strikes and you're out kind of rule. That's twice now. And by randos. I don't trust these guys here at all, though. I've seen these star guys. I didn't see anything in particular, but I've seen some of them before. And one guy on them I've seen. So we'll see. Yeah, because I'm not making any progress at all. And this goes back to something I said in one of my last ones, right? In order to keep moving forward, sometimes you've got to be a little bit self-serving. So you get caught into a squad like this where for whatever reason you're not syncing, you're getting bad matches. I'm not going to burn a huge amount of time taking losses. I don't believe that you have to show loyalty by taking losses, right? I don't think so. I think if you're taking too many back-to-back losses, you need to step away for a minute, or you need to change something. And I look at it this way: if I'm taking too many losses in a squad, then I'll just move back to solo for a bit, make up some points. But as it is right now, I've went nowhere, which means that in almost 30 minutes, I've made zero progress. And not to look at it like a business, but time. Every minute that ticks by, you never get it back. So in this kind of a thing, I like this. So I'm fine. It's a perfectly fine place to burn my time, but I'm not going to burn my time for a net gain of 0. When I know that if I solo, I can make progress. Now, I've been in other groups with my clan and pretty much shredded, right? So sometimes the stars are just not in alignment, so to speak. There you go. That's one way to take care of problem childs. I'm not the only one chasing people around. Good. There you go. Well, I guess I won't switch robots. Okay. Well, that was a little bit more like yeah, you know what it is. You see it a lot, which is you're either stomping on people or you're getting stomped on, right? Oh man, wouldn't it be nice to see what the matchmaker actually does? Let's see. So this time, what we got was very low level. There is no joy in Mudville. No, I mean you can't take any joy in that, right? You can't. The one thing I wonder about sometimes, and I don't take the time to look, is what average damage looks like for people, right? I don't even really know what mine looks like. Okay, 5 million. 5 million. Just look at the top 3 for curiosity. 5 million. Top 3 over here. 2.5. 1.3, and these are their averages, not just from this battle. 1.9. See, the thing I got to thinking about was that instead of having the matchmaker base it off of your league ranking, it should be looking at 2 numbers, right? With one of them as your primary, and that's your average damage and your average number of kills, right? Oh, too slow. Fine. Come on up here, Stone. Give me a hand. Hey, what are you doing down there? You just took that. And now he's going back. Lay. Oh, okay. A bunch of them. Fine. Got that guy? Okay, he did. Oh, he just looks like he's going back to our spawn area. Trying to get our camper. That's fine. That out. Beacon. Try to get a little more charge. Come on, give it to me. 25%. Bingo! Come after me. Fire that over there. Yeah. He's charged up though, bud. Don't go in on him like that. Knew it! Ah, I didn't get the launch off in time. That's fine though. I was in that bot for a while. What's going on? Aha! We're getting our butts handed to us. That's what's going on. Okay. I thought that could go either way for a while there. That's a good battle. All right. That makes up for those two. Not in terms of points, but in terms of good fighting. Don't really care how I ended up. That was a nice battle. Look at that. 4 on 5. Oh, look at our bottom guy, though. He really stepped up versus theirs. We got lucky. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it all day, all night. Yeah, that was a good fight. That was a tough one. I liked it. I do love the Mauler. The Mauler was the one bot. I ran the Indra all the way till I got my hands on the Mauler. I ran the Devourer for a while simply because, well, it could take a Mauler. Then they nerfed the Devourer, and now the thing's junk, back to the Mauler. And I mean, I like the Atlas occasionally. The Atlas is like really situational to me. I really only use the Atlas if I'm seeing just a horde of Atlases out there, because it's really the best way to counter it, because you get the one ability that when it throws it to the ground, it does the EMP and takes the shield out if you've got the Cook pilot. And that's really your best way to, if you've got too many of them. If you just got one or two, you can battle them out. But I've dropped into them, and I've seen run into like 4 and 5 all at the same time on the other team, and it was like big giant circle jerk with them, raising everybody off the ground, and slamming them down and stuff. And at that point, you really need one of those. But otherwise, close range, preferences to the Arthur. And otherwise, mid to long range maps for mobility, I still have very strong preference for the Mauler. I really like the Mauler. I think the Mauler kicks ass. I don't know what I'm doing. All discombobblified. Alright. Oh, hey. Hey, boys. Let's get this party started. What do we got going here? Now, we got our asses handed to us by randos, so just because something looks random doesn't mean that you have any real ability to win that fight. It's always good to build up a little head of steam. Spawn camp. That's just a get her done kind of situation. Get it done, get through it. Because there's really no skill involved. It's just who gets to them first, basically, as they drop, right? Although it's 6K. You should have done something. No, I didn't even notice we have a full squad now. And then 80, 64, 77, 68, 02, 60, 20. Oh, Finch, you're slacking. I guess he's allowed to. He is the clan leader. How am I doing? 62, 28. Good, I made about 30 points. I'll take it. Progress. Well, looks like we have a new person. Okay. Oh, we got Lay again. Okay. Gonna have to play this with a little bit of caution. Alright, good, we got rid of them. Okay. We're losing, but we're holding tight in the way too. Oh, he got me. I didn't think I was his original target either. Okay, so it's a little bit of a sword fest. That sounded kind of icky. Oh, wow. Got me. Okay. See, I always, when I try to step into people, it's real potluck for me, but other people seem to do it really well. Let's put a little backwards pressure on them. same weapons. Is that because those weapons are currently shooting through walls and shields? Possibly, right? Possibly. That is simply amazing. No damage. What is up with this? Come on. Oh, that's it for me. And I don't get it. I don't get how they're doing so much damage and taking so little, because we just got done fighting them. And while it was a tough fight, they didn't just walk through us. Oh well. See, some people think the Teth is going to get nerfed, but there are entire squads that all they run is sword after sword after sword. And the sword came out before the Teth. I think the sword's what's going to be on the chopping block soon. Oh, I don't know if I just made horseshit decisions or if I just had bad luck. You know, there was a couple times I got one shot, which kind of came out of the blue. Yeah, that's... I'm sorry, but they aren't that good. I've just went up against them so many times, and they have done cheating before. And it does seem to go like this sometimes with them. You know, after they lose, the next time you see them, they're suddenly just like gods. How'd that even happen? See, I'm at a total loss sometimes for it. How... This only helps in terms of trying to make up points. This is not make up for the crappy old matchmaker. I don't get that very often. See people link to me. Bonus. I had one in one of my videos in the past where I had two guys in a rando that linked to my Lancelot. Saved my ass. Kind of saved our match because we got through a few that way. Poor low-level rando squad. Yeah. 4,300, yeah. 4,500. This goes to what I was saying before in another one, right? If you're matching up and you got one guy like this, he's over in champions, and all the other guys are below champions, drop this guy. Don't drop the lowest one. Drop the highest one. Take him out so you stop having a champion in your queue. And then this is your highest guy then. Was it 45 or yeah, 45.86. So all of a sudden, boom. That's why I hate to say it, but the matchmaker is just it's not friendly. And that's why I say you got to be a little bit self-serving, because if you see that, or even on the other side of the coin, this guy here, I get it, they're your friends, whatever the case may be, you need to step aside, let them come up a little bit, or let yourself, you know, or not let yourself, I don't mean it that way, but, you know, because he's right on the edge, 5091. If you drop down one, then go back in, but take the odd man out, you know, consider what your league marker points are and adjust your squad accordingly for best results. You know, we have squads that are pretty much everybody's over 6K. So at that point, it's just all the same things. So that's nice and easy. When you're below 6K, try to pay attention just a little bit. Try to pay attention just a little bit to what the rankings are. Another good way to do it, because it's the way I think the matchmaker should run, is to look at average damage, right? If you got some guy pulling 6 million average damage, you don't pair him up with people pulling 2 or 3. He's going to drag him somewhere that they don't want to be, right? I think that's almost a better measure than, or not almost, but I think that is a better measure of what you can expect when you squad with somebody, right? If everybody's got around the same average damage, you're probably going to have about the best the matchmaker can offer. And I laugh at that because let's face it, the matchmaker blows. I'm not a big fan of the larger squads because it's I don't know, it just seems so hit or miss, right? I prefer 2-mans still. It's just so hard to get a good 2-man all the time, right? Get a partner. If you can find a partner, keep them, work it. Randos. You know, for this build, hills are your friend, because it's how you're going to get a hold of the people that are elevated, right? These weapons have crap vertical. Yeah, that's a linked Teth is a bad thing. Just like a linked Ultimate Fenrir or a linked Ultimate Lancelot, they can be really tough. That's a bunch of randos though, so at this point you're just farming for points, right? Nothing. Oh. I think probably the best thing Pix could do is not even to try to change their weapons or their model in that regard at all, but to really figure out how to tweak their matchmaker. You know, I was thinking, oh, you know, you could, just in terms of rankings, you could try to rank people in the game by win percentage instead of by league. But then I was thinking, yeah, they always, especially in this game, there's a way to game that too. So, and it doesn't account for the difference between solo or squad. And since no one does purely one or the other, you can't do that. So, that fell into that. Never mind. What are we doing again? Oh, down. Getting bombed from above. Oh, okay. Lockdown, there we go. Surrounded. Let's see. Close range. We're gonna sneaky pace over here. Yeah, that's the one thing actually I have on this build, and so technically it's not the most powerful because I run the attack mode with the stealth detector. Quantum radar, that's what I was looking for. All these technical terms. They get me all confused. Where do you think you're going, buddy? I'm the runner chaser. All these people trying to sneak around. Oh, I didn't catch him either. I'm going to be real low on the damage tree this time. I spent a lot of time doinking around. Oh well. You know, if it's a win, you don't take any loss in points, and so then it doesn't matter. Sometimes you gotta doink around in the games a bit, right? Sometimes you gotta muck about. Oh wait, it's dropping quick. I didn't even get a chance to look at everything. Bad Finchy. He's trying to make sure nobody drops on him, or all of a sudden doesn't give you a chance to bail. I know what he's up to. Just kidding. I don't know. No, so I got hooked up. Alright. So far, this looks like randos. Oh, I was saving that to come back and pick it up. Yeah, get a little bit of a recharge going. Alright, let's see if we get enough time to actually look at the scoreboard. Alright, nature calls real quick. Hopefully I can make it. I'm back. Ah! Hopefully not too late. Oh, well, it is what it is. Nature calls. Uh-oh, that's not good. Tulums of Doom. Alright. I'm not sure I saw what locked me down, but something locked me down. Oh, that was worth it. We're toast. Yeah. And I think, it's time to take a break. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Very little progress for the amount of time burned. Not a fan in most cases. Because this isn't like I'm squatting with some of the people that I do around that I get together with from some of the streams, right? There's a clan squads, and so I try to take part in them from time to time, but they're real hit or miss. I've talked about this before. A lot of the stuff with this clan is like this, right? They do well against randos and against lower level clans, but as soon as they get against stuff that's real competitive to them, they kind of fall apart. And I don't mean it to be negative, it's just an observation, right? We watched it happen multiple times, and I get a little frustrated, and I try not to get frustrated. But if I go and I squad with Ven, that doesn't happen. They don't ever seem to collapse like that, right? Where they can just get kind of manhandled. And so I think it's just a matter of, again, it's not that they're not that EXO doesn't have good players, and not that they're not well equipped. I think I think in some cases, and you may think I'm wrong about this, but I think in some cases what the difference is playstyle. I think in some cases playstyles sync up. You know, they're in tune with one another, and other times they're not. And it doesn't matter how good your gear is, it doesn't matter how good you are as an individual, you're not in sync. And you end up falling apart when there's pressure put on. And because you're not in sync. And you know, you're good enough that when there's no pressure, you can overcome what's there, but as soon as there's real pressure, you fall apart. And I tend to think that's the way it is with me and EXO sometimes. Is that I like the guys, and we have our good runs from time to time, but as a whole, when I group with them, it's more like this. It's very hit or miss, up and down, depends on what we run into, and it's the one thing that occasionally makes me wonder if I would be better off if I moved to another clan. The problem with it is what clan? Sure, you can say, oh, go to Ven. They're Venezuelan. English isn't their primary. They're nice and they speak English in there once in a while for me in the squad chats, but for the most part, no, they don't. They're, you know, obviously they're what do they speak in Venezuela? Is that Portuguese? Anyway, so you know, I don't know where else I would really go. But it is something that I do think is important, and that goes towards moving ahead, right? And this is where, you know, you need to sometimes be selective, because just because you're in a clan with somebody, or just because X or Y, doesn't necessarily mean that your play styles sync up real well, right? So it's just a lot of under the cover kind of factors that you don't really think about. But imagine, for example, if you're with somebody or a group of people where your playstyle syncs and you're all within, you know, 500 points of each other, unless you're all over 6K, but you're all within 500 to 700 points of each other. And not only you're all in sync and stuff, but it's you know, having the matchmaker, that's the difference. That's really the difference. And I think too often people get into clans simply to be able to get into squads. And that's where you end up people bouncing around a lot here and there, is because they're out of sync, right? They don't. It's not that they don't fit in with the people; it's that they're not fitting in with the play style, right? So be mindful. Be mindful. Just as a curiosity, I want to see what happens if I do a little bit of a solo run here at the end, before I go get something to snack on. See what I run into. Could be bad, but we were so up and down and I didn't place well that uh-oh, they switched up on me. I got it. Somebody that was suddenly very full of health. Let's see here. You know, this is a map I don't really care for, and I just seem to get it a lot. Now, I don't dislike this in the same way that I dislike Yama, but I definitely, well, you know, part of it is, you know, how many times are you going to run into the same thing, right? And there's other maps I'd like to see more. Looks like I have a team that's struggling a bit. I can't tell, is that guy linked? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Well, this is definitely a good sign that tonight was not my night. And it's definitely a good night to call it. Behind a rock. I don't know, man. Oh, he went.
Oh, well, thank goodness. Nice. Tight fight at the end. And I got to muck around with the mauler. I do like the mauler. It's so durable. And you can move around. $18. You went and got a beacon and called it quits. Alright. Because, yeah, these guys put up a hell of a fight. 17. What were you fighting? You were fighting something. Do I recognize you? Oh! Who's that guy? Charging around. Okay. Well, I think I've had my fun with for a little while with that. Well, I should do 1, 3 in a single battle. One more of those. Single battle. Screw it. I don't care that much. Have anything else here to look at? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that should be good. Where do we end up for the night? 6270. Could be worse, I guess. I know, I whine about nothing sometimes, but you know, I have my own personal expectations. At any rate, out there, take care of yourselves, people.